Hey all, Hipper here. So today I have an interesting battle for you because this one is actually a battle with obviously myself and also the TexViz and Vlad760. And we actually happen to be on the same team for once. And we're not in the division, as you can tell. It's just, totally random. We are in the same battle. I believe Vlad and Tex are in the division, but I'm solo, as you can tell. So it's always good to have, good players that you recognize on, well, in the game, and it's even better to have them on your team because then you know that, okay, we've got a pretty good chance at, being victorious in this battle here. And especially when you don't recognize anyone on the red team, at least, anyone positive, then it's a good sign. So because I spawned at B, so obviously I'm going straight for B. It's also, I'm not sure it's the best spawn. I think A is actually better, but B is definitely more important. And the problem is that if you don't spawn at B, you can't be sure that your team is actually going to take B. And if no one pushes in right from the beginning and at least holds B, then chances are you're going to lose the battle because it's that important, the B cap. So we have a Gatja here, and I'm not using my radar because he was at 9 point something when he disappeared. So pretty much a waste. Even if I could radar him, it would only be for a second or so. So we're gonna save the radar. Always important. I see so many people just popping their radars, even at the beginning of the battle, or their sonars for that matter. And look, you're not gonna find anything then. So always consider, is it worth it before you pop your radar. Now I have 3 radars and I'm gonna finish this battle here with 0 radars. So it's always important, always think, is it worth popping that very precious radar here? And I know on Agile Cruiser you have 3 of them instead of 2 of them, but still you have to be very careful with when you actually decide to use them. So in that situation before, had I used it, I would have just wasted it. Maybe I could have got off like 1 shot at the destroyer, but that's it, and the destroyer would have been outside my radar range, and the remaining, whatever, 30 seconds on the radar would have been pretty much wasted. And anything else I would have radared would have been on the other side of the B island here anyway, and no one can really get to them at this point in time in the battle, so not really worth it. So instead I'm using it now just to give myself a little bit of an idea about what are we actually facing here. And I also want to see where the destroyers are, because I'm not really sure. I've only seen 1, and there are 3 of them in this battle here. So we use 1 radar for that. I also forgot to say that we actually have a 3rd player in the division, which is Caution in the Constellation. And back when this video was shot, the Constellation was just available to testers, really. So I know it'll be available next update, but at this point, when this video was shot, it wasn't available, so he was out testing it, I'm assuming. So you can see Vlad and Tex are over on the A flank, and that's perfect. They're gonna take care of that. And Caution is in here in the cap with me, so that's also great. And then we have 2 cruisers sitting there behind, the islands, and that's just such a bad spot to sit in, because you're not really doing anything. You are outside of the B cap, you're not influencing the cap, you're not capping at all because you can't do it. And you don't have very good shots at anything going on over at C and D. You may have a shot at A, but you're also kind of exposed. And you can see exactly what they're doing here. They're just sitting there, they're not really doing anything. And that's exactly the problem with that spot there. So many people pop in there, and it rarely works out. So Vlad is grabbing the A cap right now, and you can see how Tex is just covering him in the battleship, and that's what you should do. That's how it works really well. And at the same time, I'm going to hit at whatever flanks I can from in here. It's going to be limited because I am just a cruiser and I only have AP shells in here, but my main purpose in this battle here is to destroy destroyers, really. I haven't really had an option to do it yet, because we're doing really well already, and we got 3 caps out of 4 caps, so there's really no need for me to push out or anything like that. It's much better to sit here and wait for the destroyers to come to me, because sooner or later they are going to have to make a push And there we have an Akatsuki over there, but again, he's out of my radar range on the Edinburgh, but we're still going to shoot at him, but we're not going to waste the radar on this guy here. It's not worth it. Well, it's not worth it at all, because he's way out of our radar radius. Now, I kind of wish I had spawned over at the A-cap, actually, because it's pretty obvious that Vlad needs a cruiser over there, and it's like especially a specialized destroyer-killing cruiser, because he keeps fighting with that destroyer over there, losing the cap and then regaining it and then losing it. And unfortunately, I can't get over there. There are too many battleships between the two caps, at least so far in the battle. So he's going to be on his own for at least a little more time here, which is unfortunate. And I can't even help him with my radar because I'm simply too far away. So they're just going to have to be on their own. And in the meantime, we removed one destroyer over here because I was just waiting for them to make a move. Because like I said, sooner or later they would have to. We got the majority of the caps. You know, our tickets are rolling in. So it's just a matter of time. And that's what you really want to wait for when you're in the B cap. Unless, of course, one of the flanks totally fall. Then you can make a move. But as it is now, it's a little bit too risky to at least drop over to the A flank. And that's why I'm kind of sussing out the area over here at the C and D flank. And it looks like there's only a Plymouth over here defending that. So that's, you know, that's more plausible. We can probably do better over there, because I don't think any more DDs are going to make a play at the B cap. It's like it's too heavily defended. There's 4 ships in here now. So no need for me anymore. Now, all 3 remaining battleships are over on the A flank, which is probably the worst idea ever, especially on this map here, because they're just leaving 2/3 of the map pretty much undefended. And this Plymouth here will have to defend the C cap and the D cap by itself. And I mean, that's just the total mismatch between the power of the flanks and, you know, the importance of the flanks. A is important, yes, but I mean, there are 2 caps over on the other flank, and you know, I'd love to grab that D cap there and put us completely ahead here. So again, there's no need to push here. There is a destroyer in A, but it doesn't matter. We have another 2 caps that gives us plenty of tickets. So as long as we are, you know, earning tickets, there is no real need to take any chances. And then Vlad gets the Akatsuki right there, and that's pretty much the turning point here, where we are. Well, at least I'm pretty sure we're going to win this battle here. So this Plymouth here, we need to remove him, and that will be the end of it, because then there's only battleships left, and there is no way that 3 battleships on this map here will be able to make any difference. First of all, they're sitting on the same flank, which is, like I said before, the worst idea ever. And secondly, there's so many places to hide here, and we have the majority of the caps. And these guys here in the battleships have just left their team to die, pretty much, because they're not helping at all. Look how far away they are from anything of importance. And yeah, it's just a bad play. So I'm sussing out this Plymouth here. He's going to be my dessert, my lunch. And he's going to grab this unfortunate cruiser here. There's also, I mean, what are you doing? This going broadside like that. And then the Roma finishes him off. So here I'm using my radar to set up an ambush attack on this Plymouth here, because he doesn't know where I am. He doesn't even know I'm close. He knows he's radared, but that's about it. And I'm thinking, he's probably thinking, it's someone in the B cap. So I'm just gonna be, you know, reversing back, and then I'll be safe. And of course, reversing back is exactly what I want him to do, and that's why I turn my radar on in the first instance, because now I can see, okay, he is actually starting to move back. So the radar runs out, but we should be in sonar range now, so I just pop that one on just to see, is he still doing it? And you know, at this point he should be thinking, hey, this is a mistake, because he's sonared, and that means I'm really close. But maybe he's too slow, or just didn't really realize, or whatever. But that's the end of Mr. Plymouth then. And like I said, there's only battleships left, and battleships who play like this, who spend the last 5 minutes of the game running away from everything and everyone, they lose battles, and they keep doing it. You know, these players here, they play the same way every time, and they always play the games like this, where, you know, they run away, And running away in this battle here means that you will lose. And that's just the way it is. And if that's how they want to play, that's fine. But they're not going to get a very nice win rate then. So we just got to mop up the last few ships here. And I could go for the decap for some, you know, cheap points here. But I'm not. And if you look at this Vanguard's last salvo here, he must be really desperate. Because I haven't been spotted for at least a minute. And he still uses his last salvo on, you know, shooting at an unspotted ship behind a smoke screen. And, you know, obviously not going to hit anything doing that. And, yeah. Another mysterious play here by those battleships, but whatever. And in the meantime, we have almost reached 1,000 tickets here. And we haven't really had to make any decisive plays. We just had to take the caps and, you know, defend the caps. That's it. There's no need to push any further. And as you saw in this battle here, no one really pushed any further except for that unlucky Fiji. But he was also, yeah, I don't know what he was doing. Like, just take the caps and get ahead on points. And then you are automatically forcing the red team to do something to win. And usually that something is something that's not so smart. Which will then allow you to sink 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships, whatever. And get you ahead. So as you can see, done pretty well. Vlad first, Tex, and then myself. So destroyer, a battleship, and a cruiser in the top 3 on each team, actually. So that's what we like to see. So hope you enjoyed it, and see you out there.